Welcome to a very special At the Movies edition of Dylan Box.
Box.
I'm your co-host Ryan Harsch,
And I'm Chris LeRoy.
and we've waited a few months for the hype and the talk and the chatter about this movie, A Complete Unknown, to die down, and we've waited for the right time to discuss it.
I think it is the right time. So we'll start with you. I mean,
Yeah.
we both have seen the movie. That
Uh-huh.
probably is a step forward.
Yes.
Okay. So, well, give me your first impressions, I guess. How do you want to go?
Sure. I mean, I was looking forward to this for a little while.
Yeah.
There was a lot of build up to it. And so, of course, I was like, some movies these days, you're like, I want to go see this in the theater, or I'll wait till it comes out on streaming, or I still buy physical media.
Sure.
So this movie I had to see in the theater. I think it's just the experience, it's visual, and it's auditory. And I knew that pretty much going in. I tried not to listen to other people too much before I saw it, because I believe, as with any work of art, right? It's like your impression initially.
Yeah.
So going into this movie, I had nothing, right? I was just like, let's just see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was good. I thought it was like, and I don't mean like good as in just kind of mid, but I mean, I was frankly very, like, there's some parts that were very emotional.
Yeah.
Some parts that were very funny. There's some parts that were, like I didn't learn things I didn't really know about. Could have been true, could have not been true.
Right.
I thought the acting was amazing.
Yeah.
For all parts. And then, of course, the music was just, of course, great.
Right.
Right? It's Dylan. What do you expect? So,
Right.
you know, it after, and upon reflection, I'm like, this is kind of a biopic. It's very, very reminiscent of the other directors' movie, I Walk the Line, right?
Oh, okay.
Walk the
Yeah,
Line. So
right.
he did that movie before. So it seemed to have a lot of the elements, because honestly, with something in 2.5 hours, you're not going to put everything in there. But I think they did a great job of getting the high points, of distilling the essence. You could have been someone who didn't even know about Dylan, and I think you still would have enjoyed the movie on some level, because it had a historical context too.
Right. And I think that I too tried to stay away from hearing too much about it, or, because it seemed like everyone had an opinion, and yet there were certain writers' opinions that I was very interested in what they were going to say about the film. There's this one person who didn't like, this one director who didn't like it, that says, he didn't know what to say about it, because when my 21-year-old daughter went in, she goes, when I went in, I didn't know a lot about Dylan, and when I came out, I knew less.
Yeah, right. I get it, because it's like, it just starts with like him showing up in New York, right?
Right.
And you don't get a lot of it's hard to watch as a Dylan fan, and knowing so much about him,
Yeah.
and reading all the things I've read about him, and just kind of separating myself from all of that, and
Right.
just enjoying the movie. Because half the time I'm going, yeah, like, I'm sure someone out there is going like, that's not the way it really happened.
Oh, sure.
Right. Or and there's certain things I'm sure, like, did he really know Johnny Cash that early? Like, there's footage of him, I think, on the Europe tour in '66 playing with Johnny Cash, but I know he knew him before then.
Right.
So who knows?
And
right?
it's a great plot point.
Yeah, it
He
is.
first writes to him, and Johnny Cash starts writing back to
Mm-hmm.
him. It's those things, whether they're fictionalized or not. I think that's the part which you kind of had to get over. I
Right.
mean, there was a New Yorker review of it that was just, it left out all the important things. And you say, well, in the story,
Yeah.
what's important? What's important
To
to this?
whom?
To whom?
Yeah.
It's like, are you making a film for the Dylan historians? Are you
Uh-huh.
making a film for people who don't know anything about him? Similar to your experiences, like I kind of checked my, Dylan hat at the door, and when I heard that Timothy Chalamet
Yeah.
was playing it, I just thought, oh, this is a disaster.
Yeah.
I thought that is just the worst
Right.
idea ever. And so, I go in there, and he's kind of walking along, and I go, okay, he's got curly hair. And then it kind of fell away once. I'll tell you when it changed, when
Okay.
the film became a film for me and not a history lesson, is when he goes in to see Woody Guthrie. He sings, a song to Woody, to him. And there's so much banking in what happens in that scene, because if he's going to be a credible Bob Dylan and he's a stinker, the film is gone.
That,
You know,
right.
it would be terrible.
Right.
But not only does he, kind of have some of the accuracy of it and some of the movement. I mean,
Yeah.
he never looked up
Kind of
straight the entire
bumbling
film.
and yeah.
But there's something about the Woody Guthrie character being, physically stymied, where
Right.
he just can barely move and he's just watching, and how Chalamet delivers that song. Just the first few notes of it, you're going, oh,
Yeah.
the filmmaker understands what this is about. It's ultimately about friendship, and it's a love story.
Yeah.
It's this friendship with Woody Guthrie
Yeah.
that carries the film, and his first love, and how it's lost.
Yeah.
And that could be about any movie. It doesn't have to be about Bob Dylan.
Yeah, it's just framed in Bob Dylan, but I think also if you go in there saying like, oh, that didn't really happen that way, I think you kind of missed the point
Yeah.
because it can be fiction because a lot of Dylan's, I said not a lot of it, but a lot of his life is kind of fiction.
Yeah.
Like there are certain things in his life, like did he really get in that motorcycle accident?
Mm.
Who knows? Did he?
He tripped over a bike, maybe.
Sure. Yeah. Right.
His
yeah, he
kid's
didn't put
bike.
The bike might have fallen on him. He didn't put the kickstand down or whatever. Right. That could have, or he said at one point he traveled with the circus.
Oh.
I mean, like, and so I mean, his whole name is made up. I mean, essentially, right?
Sure.
So it's like, like you have to accept the fact that the film can be part fiction as it is because that is an accurate reflection of the art that he makes
Yeah.
with his life and his work.
When you've already distanced yourself and you're accepting him as this character and accepting the story as is, when he starts saying, oh yeah, I was with this circus and whatnot, he plays it very casual.
Right.
It's not like, yeah, I was in the circus.
Yeah.
He's kind of convincing, and yet he's not. He makes it very like it's just part of the story.
Yeah.
Like it's just part of a lyric.
Uh-huh.
Like it's just part of a song. You're not going to come out of that movie knowing more about Bob Dylan
Right.
because that wasn't the point of
No,
the
it
film.
wasn't.
It did show that he was in love with somebody.
Sure.
It did show that he kind of moved around in sort of mysterious ways.
Right.
But you're never going to solve the mystery by looking at this film. And what
Yeah.
2 hours would ever do that?
It's a
anyway?
coming of age story.
Yeah,
So if you
coming
get
of
down
age.
to it, if you take away the music and the name
Right.
Bob Dylan, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And that's anybody's life exactly. It just happens to be a very famous musician.
Right. But he sings that song and,
Uh-huh.
he finishes it and then Woody Guthrie just starts hitting the table.
Right. Yeah.
And that sells the film right there.
Yeah.
The New Yorker one again was going on. Well,
Yeah.
it doesn't show how hard it was living in New York City. We're not doing a travel log here,
Right.
folks.
Yeah.
There's-
No one cares about that.
No.
There's other movies that demonstrate
You
that.
could do that. You could say
Essentially.
how to make
Right.
it in New York City.
Uh-huh.
No, this is about how this complete unknown becomes known and doesn't like it. Of this
Right.
person who has cultivated fame and also kind of run from it,
Sure.
and yet he's toured incessantly.
Right. And he's done everything on his own terms, which is not, I mean, say what you want about art. It's like unfortunately, not everyone's been able to do that.
Yeah.
Right. For that long amount of time.
Yeah.
Like Neil Young is another one who's like very similar in that way. Like
Yeah.
he's just kind of done things on his own terms, and,
Yeah.
and he'll walk away from a band or, and that's it. And then they're left without work, but
Yeah.
it's all to serve the message and the art.
So that this film can't get hooked into that story and trying to solve who Bob Dylan is. But I think there are some truths. Him as the folk singer and Pete Seeger wanting him to, lead this generation. There was this feeling, and folk music was important at that time. It was popular.
Right.
He was trying to get it to be a movement. Dylan, even in the first car ride with him, he's listening to the radio and he's listening to
Yeah.
rock and roll stuff.
And
And
he's like, what is this?
yeah, if it needs all that electric stuff, it's not so good,
Right.
says Pete Seeger. And Dylan says, well, I kind of like it. It's fun. That's all you need to know about his rationale.
But you see too, like I think two things the movie does really well for me that I saw. I think I gained a deeper understanding is one, why the folk community was so upset
Yeah.
when he switched over.
Yeah.
Right. And like, and you get it, right? Like, cause you get to see so much like of Pete Seeger and like where he's coming from.
Right.
And there's that. And there's also how the second thing is that how deeply like rooted in the blues, the changeover to the electric, music. Cause then the movie shows that really well.
Yeah.
How he like from that scene you're talking about, but then later on, there's little things that come up that show that basically he was just doing electric blues.
Yeah.
And that's what he wanted to do.
Right. And yet, when he's singing, "These times are changing,"
Right. Uh-huh.
That scene again is a cinematic success
Yes.
to where he starts the song, and it's back when people would learn the chorus while you first sang it, and
Yeah.
they'd sing along in the second line, and the whole festival, everyone joins in, and Pete Seeger's so happy, and it's
Yeah.
like, here's the pinnacle. Look, he's done it. He's going to be this wonderful tool for change.
Yes.
And everyone was happy except for Dylan. He was ready to change.
Yeah.
He's
Already. Yeah. He
he's
didn't
ready.
like it right off the bat.
Right. So I think all those are true. All those things really did happen. Just the nuance of scene by scene. Was this the conversation? Was this that film didn't feel slaved to that.
Right.
We need to give the details.
Yeah.
And I think it's more of a free film because of it.
I mean, and then even like the scene with this the little things I found were great, like how they made Rolling Stone, Al Cooper with the and the organ bit that was
Right.
cool. I mean, like the little things they work in that really only like people like you and me would know about, right? Like
Well,
other ones
yeah.
like those are just like little tidbits, but it makes it cool. Like
Yeah.
it's like here's this great song that everybody talks about, and here's how he made it, and it took a minute.
Yeah, and very slapdash.
Yeah.
You're not playing guitar because
Uh-huh.
we already got Mike Bloomfield.
Yeah,
You
sorry.
play the organ. Don't
Yeah.
let him play the organ.
Uh-huh.
Turn off the organ. Boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom.
Oh, what are you doing over there?
Yeah, which again is you a music person or someone who records. You're lucky if something as loose and free as that happens,
Yeah.
and you get something good from it.
Yeah.
So there's that sort of underlying truth that I went to. Maria was there, and Armando Castro, the Tales of the IE. He's the one who first told me, when's the first showing is this day or something. I think we
Okay.
went the second day maybe.
There you go.
But we just really had fun. He's a total Dylan head, and he just felt those same emotions. He says, when he gets, when Susie's leaving, and there's the fence, and he said,
Yeah.
"No, you could just stay." I think that's a real exchange. I think that really did happen, and Dylan always sort of protected her, even to not use her name.
Sure.
In
Yeah.
the
Called her Sylvie in the movie.
called her Sylvie.
And her name is Suze.
Right.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
so old Suze, one of the best Dylan books
Okay.
written. And if you really want to supplement to the film, it may not be Dylan going electric. It might be this called Free Will and Time by Suze Ortolo.
Okay.
And she just kind of tells her story with Bob Dylan during that time.
Right.
And there's not bitterness, there's anything, but it's through the eyes of someone who knows him in ways that nobody else would.
Yeah.
And I think she finished it before she got cancer. She died very young.
Yeah.
In her 60s. But there's a kind of a freewheeling nature about
Right.
this, to where you can understand how he takes advantage of all sorts of people,
Sure.
and he's this kind of jerk and all this thing. But he's a really nice guy, deep inside, who's just trying to perfect this
Right.
next song, and she had to respect that.
He serves the art. Yeah.
Serves the art,
Yeah.
and she understood that about him, and that's in this book, in just a very uncompromised way. And I love the cover.
I need to check it out, yeah.
Freewheeling album, and they show them taking that picture.
Yep.
And so that picture really was taken. So the
Yeah.
folks who just want to make it mini series and went on for 15 hours to tell every little
mean,
bit.
So this movie reminded me of another movie, Inside Llewyn Davis. Have you seen that
Oh,
movie?
sure, yeah.
I mean, that movie's great too.
Yeah.
If you want like more information about that time period, even though that movie is not directly about Dylan, like a lot of those things are kind of very Dylan-esque.
Oh yeah, yeah. They
You
kind of
know, so it's like,
weave it in.
but it's like if you want the whole story, listen to the music, read the books. I mean,
young people who were drawn there because of the the presence of Timothy Chalamet
uh-huh.
got into the theater, but sales of Dylan albums went up.
I noticed
At
that.
the end of the film, I thought for a millisecond, because I guess it goes back into Rolling Stone or something. I think the credits are running,
Yeah.
and I go, "Oh, okay. At least they put Dylan here at the end." No, that's not Dylan.
That was him.
Yeah, and it just took a little bit because
Yeah.
the recordings, they got a good spirit for it.
Yes.
I think the movie's made more authentic because you had to kind of feel that music as you're performing.
Right.
You have to kind of create that space. I remember when I was still in college in the 70s, I guess. I mean, I took some class and they talking about Dylan, his poetry and whatnot, and it's like people are going to argue whether this was poetry or not. And it's
Sure.
like, well, the part that you miss out of, you're just going to take a printed word, is all the nuances in the way Dylan sings.
Right.
So the words on the printed page are, I mean, they're interesting, but they may or may not be poetry, but it's not a fulfilled thought because you're not hearing this voice doing it. So I think that that's what they had to do as performers, is they had to sing the songs to feel those performances.
Because as we both know too, that different versions of different songs live are all their own thing.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, you get times they are changing. You hear it in the movie, and then you hear it when he plays it like on the tour with the band. It's like completely different,
Completely different.
right? And then or he'll remake it as a waltz or whatever 20 years later. Who knows?
Which he reserves the
Yeah.
right. So
Yes.
this I'm using these words and I might change the words and I might change the tune and I might change the beat. That's me being me. That's me being an artist. And come along if you like it.
Yeah.
Come along if you like it. So I think in that way, you have this film that just sort of establishes in the very slightest way the drive of this young person, the ambition of this young person, but this focus that he was not going to stay
Right.
still.
Yeah. As we all know, he kept going, right? And
Absolutely.
it's hard. I mean, there's other parts that they could have covered, in the film, but I think
Sure.
the way it ended and the spot where it chose to finish was fine. I mean, because it could have definitely gotten into other thing,
Just
the electric tour, but I think it covered enough
yeah, you're right.
for what it was.
The motorcycle.
That's all you need to see.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
We're the only
No
ones.
sequel.
We're the
Yeah,
only ones
yeah,
that
we
knew
know
that
what
he just
happens.
tripped over a trike.
Yeah, right.
That's
Yeah,
all
it is. It's a good movie and it was an earnest effort. Yeah, I don't think it was like amazing and blow me away, but I thought it was good for what it was. It was really inspiring,
Yeah.
and there were parts that got me a little emotional just because it's like, wow, like imagine if you were there to see that. Like,
As a review of the film,
yeah,
I would, certainly would recommend it. I'm sure tons of people have seen it, but it's starting to eke out into the ecosystem. And whether you're a Dylan fan or not, or so, it's just a good movie about young people and creativity and,
reinventing yourself too. I think,
yeah.
right, and just kind of coming in as one thing, and you see as the art for sure
Yeah.
throughout the movie, and it's wonderful to see.
Yeah.
Thumbs up.
2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up.
So-
No sideways here.
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
thumbs down. Yeah.
And make sure to read this book, A Free Will in Time, a memoir of Greenwich Village in the 60s.
Okay.
Because it's about the place and time.
That's one I have not read. So yeah.
Oh,
or
you're
even
good-
have. Yeah.
You're gonna love this
Okay.
book. Because I think it's a good prequel, sequel to what that movie's about. If you want to get a little bit deeper into the feeling of that,
Yeah.
because it was an important time.
So once again, thank you so much for being here. I'm Ryan Harsch,
Chris LeRoy.
and you've seen a very special edition of Dylan Box at the Movies.